Hey, you guys, I have a real problem here.
Oh, great. Now what?
Yeah, don't you have enough problems already? No, look, I'm serious. I want to get something really special for the warlock. You see, we don't really talk to him a whole lot, and I don't want him to feel like we don't like him. Well, instead of buying gifts to make up for your inadequacies as a friend, why don't you just try talking to him?
Yeah, you idiot. Why don't you just try to be a better friend, huh?
I don't know. His skull mask is kind of intimidating. I don't even know what his face looks like. Hi, Mr. Warlock, sir. How are you doing today? I can't do this. Just tell me what I should buy.
Holy crap. You're pathetic.
It would appear that it's time for a top 20 D&D Gift Ideas video.
Welcome to the DM Lair. I'm Luke Hart, and I've been a Dungeon Master since high school. On this channel, I give practical Dungeon Master advice that you can implement at your game table. Now today, because it will soon be crunch time for holiday gift shopping, we'll be talking about the top 20 D&D gifts that you can get for that special someone in your life. I'm going to break our list down into gifts for both players and Dungeon Masters, though I feel like there's probably some crossover between the two categories. And of course, I will be placing links to everything down below. Player gifts. First, let's talk about D&D gifts for new players. If your special someone wants to play D&D but never has or is just getting into D&D, here are some ideas for you. Number 1, the Player's Handbook. This is the core rulebook for players. While I have had some players who never buy one of these, it's always an impediment to the game. And I never cease to browbeat them about it, by the way. So if your special someone doesn't have this yet, it's top on the list. Number 2, dice. Now be careful here. You don't want just any old dice. See, D&D players got all snobbish about their dice, and the humble 6-sided die simply wasn't good enough for them. The dice we use have 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 20 sides on them because we're special. Now you could get one set of premium dice, or you could get a whole pound of dice. Yes, that's right. We love our dice so much that we sell them by the pound. It's kind of like buying flour or rice, I suppose. Just don't put them on baking sheets in the oven because that's usually frowned upon in D&D circles. Number 3, paper and pencils. Now, these may be common household items, but they are indispensable for the D&D player. That being said, you'd be surprised at how many times I've had players come to my games without pencils. Isn't that right, Joe? Number 4, an RPG journal. Let's face it, number 3, paper and pencils, might actually be a rather lame gift. So how about an upgrade? Instead, grab one of these RPG journals, perhaps even one with a leather cover depicting dragons or something equally as cool. Number 5, player character or PC miniatures. Consider picking up a pack of snazzy miniatures intended to represent the player's character in the game. If you're not sure exactly what miniature to get, see, much like dice, we D&D nerds got particular about our minis too, I suggest picking up a small pack of different PC miniatures. That way, there's a higher chance of it containing one close to what the player would want to use. Okay, now let's move out of beginner territory and talk more about advanced players who might already have most of these things. Number 6, books, and more books. Wizards of the Coast is constantly churning out more books because, well, that's how they make money. And you could help them stay in business and make your special someone happy with a copy of Xanathar's Guide to Everything. This optional splat book for players has lots of good stuff in it, including a metric crap ton of new character options. Yes, crap tons are measured with the metric system, just in case you're wondering. There are also several other books players may be interested in that I'll be mentioning in number 15. But first, number 7, D&D Apparel. Hey, we're crazy about our dice. Why not be crazy about shirts and hoodies too? Now, you can do a quick Google search for D&D shirts and hoodies and find a ton of companies selling this stuff. However, I recommend you check out Gorilla Tees. Not only do I get most of my D&D shirts from them, but you can get yourself a 15% discount with my promo code, the DM Lair. And their gear is already at a great price to begin with, I might add. Number 8, dice bags. Oh, baby. You saw this one coming, didn't you? I mean, if we have pounds of dice, we gotta have a place to put them, right? And the selection of dice bags is insane. You can even get dice bags in the shape of classic D&D monsters like this Mimic right here. Number 9, D&D mugs. If there's anything that characterizes a D&D game session besides the wanton shedding of monstrous blood, it's pizza and drinks. Grab that special someone a cool D&D mug to drink their best favorite drink from. Alrighty then, it's time to move on to a D&D gift ideas for dungeon masters. So let's do this. Number 10, D&D Starter Sets. For fledgling dungeon masters, or just folks who want to try the game out to see what it's all about, these starter sets contain almost everything a dungeon master needs to run the game. Now, you do only need one of the starter sets to play, and it'll only set you back about $20. Number 11, the Player Handbook, the Dungeon Master Guide, and the Monster Manual. These 3 books form the core rulebooks for Dungeons & Dragons. And if you're looking to get something a little nicer for the dungeon master in your family, these are a nice step up from the starter sets. And I'll tell you what, the alternate covers are amazing. I highly recommend them. Number 12, a Dungeon Master Screen. Now, to understand why Dungeon Masters need screens, you need to know a little something about us. You see, we Dungeon Masters have secrets. Lots and lots of secrets, and we use them to induce pain and suffering in our players' lives. So we use Dungeon Master screens to hide those secrets. I personally use the customizable DM screen that I have linked down below. Number 13, miniature booster packs. Okay, now we're getting into true Dungeon Master territory. You see, Dungeon Masters need miniatures to survive. There is in fact an emptiness inside every dungeon master that can only be filled with boxes full of miniatures. True story. And miniature booster packs have just enough miniatures to keep dungeon masters out of the depths of despair while also not breaking your wallet. Now, I'll put links to a few of them down below, but there are dozens of booster packs available. Number 14, battle mats. These, ladies and gentlemen, are indispensable to the dungeon master because it's on these battle grids that much of the game of D&D unfolds. So do your dungeon master a solid and grab them a few of these. Trust me, they'll thank you. Number 15, D&D books for dungeon masters. Yes, that's right. Dungeon masters need quite a few more books than players do. Now, there are lots of books that you could get, but these are my favorite DM books in order: Acquisitions Incorporated, Volo's Guide to Monsters, and Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. And you might also pick up a module or two for your dungeon master. Modules contain D&D adventures for DMs to run with their players. I suggest Curse of Strahd and Tome of Annihilation. Number 16, more miniatures. All right, those booster packs I mentioned earlier, those are just the tip of the iceberg. There's actually lots of different ways to get miniatures for D&D. I actually did a video a while back about the best ways I know to get lots of cheap miniatures. I'll put a link down below to it if you are interested. Number 17, my Patreon consulting tier. For advanced dungeon masters who might already have a lot of this stuff already, one-on-one advice from an experienced dungeon master is invaluable. Now, the entire goal of my channel is to help dungeon masters, but my adult dragon patrons get one-on-one time with me each month to help level up their games. Number 18, painting supplies. Oh, did I forget to mention? Lots of miniatures come unpainted, so your dungeon master might just need some paint to put on them. Now, I'll throw some links down below to some army painter sets, but my favorite paints are actually Citadel Contrast Colors, and the best place to pick those up are at your local game store or hobby shop. Number 19, miniature carrying cases. Okay, with as many miniatures as I've been pushing on you in this video, you may have seen this coming. your Dungeon Master will need somewhere to store all those minis. Now, you could get professional mini carrying cases, but what I found to work best is a humble tackle box. Not only are they much cheaper, but they are also easier to use and carry more minis. Number 20, a 3D printer. If you really, really, really love your Dungeon Master, a 3D printer will make their entire year. These things are simply amazing. You can make your own minis with them and even create things like miniature doors with functioning hinges. Now, these are big purchases, and I am not an expert on them. So definitely do some more research before just grabbing one of them. However, I can tell you they are super cool. Let me know in the comments which gift you would like to get. And next week, I'll be telling you the story of when a bard in my game seduced a succubus. But until then, click right here to learn the best ways I know to get cheap D&D miniatures. And until next time, let's play D&D.